Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to yet again another fantastic indie creator interview. It is your Capes Crusader, Cody, and we are keeping it geekly with our returning friend, Wells Thompson. We're here to break down Mechaton issue 1, 2, and 3, and everything in between. Wells, welcome back. How are you doing, man? It's awesome to get you back on the show.
I'm doing really well. How are you?
I am doing fantastic. It is new comic book day, and I am excited to break down this new issue that you are campaigning for. But before we dive into that, let's give any new viewers a chance to get get a chance to know who you are and a nice little recap. It was interview, I think 22 we had you on last, so there's been quite a bit of time that's kind of gone on since we last chat.
For sure, over 100 people interviewed. That is insane to me, but I'm happy for you, and I'm glad.
A lot of monster.
Yeah, no, I am a comic book writer. I'm a writer of other things too, but mainly a comic book writer. The last time I was on, we talked about Frankenstein the Unconquered #1, which is the newest series that we've been working on. That one is very like action horror, Universal Horror Monsters meets Conan the Barbarian kind of vibes. This project is very different, but we can get into that in a bit. Yeah, no, I write. I guess broadly speaking, you could say I write genre stuff. I've written a lot of sci-fi, a lot of horror. I really dig magical realism. Anything that if I can put like a tentacle in there convincingly, I probably will. That's big flavor of.
Man, a culture I see.
No, absolutely. Sorry, I was just changing that Twitter handle that you told me to change.
No, you're fine. You're fine. So yeah, you have a laundry list of projects that you've worked on. You mentioned Frankenstein the Unconquered, but also from the Static Horror Anthology by Visibility Volume 2 and some other titles too. Can you give us a little bit of a breakdown of those?
Yeah, I've been busy submitting to more anthology stuff. From the Static is a horror anthology from Band of Bards that is coming to the place, comic shops. There we go, my brain. That is coming very soon, and it'll there are whisperings of a hardcover edition that may make it to a crowdfunding site. We don't know yet, but yeah, my name will be on that along with a bunch of other really talented creators. I have a story in there that is very like Lovecraftian seafaring that I'm really excited to be able to debut. It features a really nice head explosion, and I love a good head explosion. So
that is awesome. That's awesome.
And then I've been on by Visibility 1 and 2, both successfully crowdfunded by Cat Calamia, and that was a really fantastic project. The second one, I was lucky enough to work with, and I'm probably going to mess up her last name, but Lisa Sterl. She's the artist behind Witchblood and a bunch of really cool projects. That one of the first, Long Lost was one of the first projects I did on Comic Book Yeti, like reviewing. So seeing her, I was like, oh my god, this is so cool.
Yeah, that had to be a surreal feeling for you.
Yeah, I just getting paired with her, I was like, oh, I know who you are. Yeah, no, I'm very. So that was a ton of fun. I'm on Project Big Hype Volume 3 whenever that comes out. That'll be great. Yeah, I've been busy, and then
what's
other stuff too. But
what type of story, if you're allowed to talk about it, are you did you submit for Volume 3?
So I did a sort of. I went with a go with what you know, and what I know is cat fostering. Like I foster a bunch of cats. I have kittens and cats all over my house, and they get into a lot of fights. So I did this sort of goofy story about the best spot to nap in the house and how everyone wants it, and it starts. Kind of playfully swatting at each other, and then someone pulls out a knife, and then someone throws a shuriken and pulls out a gun, and it just escalates until there are like doomsday devices involved. It's a ton of fun.
I love that.
Yeah, I really can't wait for that. Jay Sheik is doing that story with me, and he's absolutely fantastic. I can't wait to see that story in real life.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of anything cats or felines. I'm sold. So Wells, you have such a diverse like portfolio behind you. Like, how are you able to like write all these different like subjects and genres? It just seems like you're on like firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, no, I generally start with kind of theme and character and trying to mold the story into what it is. I never really liked being pinned down to one genre because it feels limiting to me. Some things work in horror, some things work in sci-fi, some things work as, you know, just slice of life. So I like the opportunity to kind of go between any of those depending on what the story calls for. But mostly I'm just motivated by like big questions, and characters are like the two things that really drive me. So whatever genre that those fit into is what I work in.
And I mean, speaking of big characters, we have some pretty big characters in the current book that you're campaigning for right now, Mechaton, issue number 3. Can you give us a little bit of a recap with issue 1 and 2 and kind of like the story and the concept behind it?
Yeah, sure. Issue number 1, Mechaton, is the story, or Megaton in general is the story of a brother and sister who discover a power glove, and they discover that anything it punches turns into a mech. So they accidentally punch a hot dog stand and it turns into a big mech with like a shield and a bratwurst cannon and things like that. And it was just kind of a silly way to explore their relationship and how they rely on each other when they get into a tight situation. So yeah, number 1 is them finding the glove, them realizing, or Derek getting fired from his job because he's kind of a layabout, but also he wants to be a good guy, he wants to do the right thing, and he intentionally is late sometimes so that people get free pizza, and his boss doesn't like that, so they fucking can him. And then one of the people that he's like, one of the guys that he's friends with, his hot dog stand gets destroyed by this out of nowhere giant cockroach. And this is after they've discovered the glove. He punches it out of anger. It becomes a mech, and he's able to come in and save the day. Which is not how the police see it. They wind up holding him at gunpoint at the end of the issue. Issue number 2 starts off right where that one leaves off, with this confrontation with the police. The bug winds up exploding because it's radioactive and unstable. I do actually want to take a second and just brag on this page because
let me get you zoomed in as well.
Happy. Like, this splash page makes me so happy.
Oh yeah, that's gorgeous.
No, so Derek once again kind of saves the day, but gets shot at unknowingly, and when he discovers it, it shakes him up a little bit. So he's by the midpoint of issue 2, he's kind of like, maybe we shouldn't do anything with this big. It's the with great power, the great responsibility speech, but he doesn't have anything to do with it. We meet Leah's partner, Hex, who's a non-binary witch and one of my favorite characters that I've ever written. Just super sassy and very no nonsense in all the best ways. And unfortunately, trouble kind of follows them. Another giant bug breaks into the house and starts wrecking up the place, and it falls on Derek to stop it. But he hesitates, and it gets his sister in danger, and we end off with Leah about to be eaten by Thoraxis, the new bug type enemy that we're working with. And so yeah, the number 3 picks up right in the middle of this kaiju attack, and it goes to different places. So we have threats. By the end of it, we're dealing with like police interrogation and pizza endorsement deals and just stuff that But no, it's really heartfelt. It's a great midpoint for the story, and I'm really excited to put it on print.
Yeah, this seems like a really fun comic for you to work on. It seems like there's so much you could do. I love the concept of a glove that just turns anything it punches into a mech. What inspired you? That is such a unique concept. I love it, man.
Yeah, it was definitely, I mean, particularly Dalton, who's my co-writer on this, like has a lifelong love of like tokusatsu and kaiju movies. If you get him started on like Godzilla, he will not stop. He will not stop. No, it was that. It was like these over the top action anime like One Piece, like Gurren Lagann, Full Metal Alchemist certainly had to make its way in there because there's nothing that there's nothing Edward Elric can't solve by throwing some hands. What a driving factor in that. But no, we just loved that kind of over the top shonen-esque formula, and we wanted to do something fun with that. And it just kind of was born out of one of those, you know, you're talking with your buddies and you're like, yeah, this would be cool. What if this happened? And Dalton was like, what if a glove punched a thing and it turned into a mech? And that just stuck with stuck with us for you. We just kept going back to that. Like, what if you just punched something and it turned into a mech? And we wound up trying a couple different versions of that story. One that was very, very, very fast paced that we felt we needed to kind of draw out a little bit more, and eventually turned into what you have in front of us now.
So are they able to like pilot the mechs or like control the mechs? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, so Derek is inside the mech.
Okay.
Like, because Derek is wearing the glove. The glove will not come off of Derek's hand at all. And the mech forms around him. And then Leah, his sister, has a connection to the glove through her phone, so she can scroll through and see like what weapons the mech is carrying.
Oh, that's cool.
She can kind of be the eye in the sky and direct him during the fights. And that was a dynamic I really loved exploring, is like the kind of backseat gamer dynamic, which is like something that I've experienced both being the backseat gamer and having a backseat gamer. My wife loves video games, but not playing them so much. She just likes to watch. So we like, that's what we do for date night sometimes, is I'll like
that's
play
a perfect combination.
Banger, yeah. And then we'll just attentively be like, ooh, did you see that thing? And kind of catch stuff that I might have missed. So yeah, I love that dynamic, and I love that interplay between the siblings. Yeah, and then the other part of that sibling dynamic is as someone who has brothers, it bothers me so much when I watch something or play something, and a character is introduced by being like, "Hello, brother," and it's like I've never ever walked into a room with my brother and addressed him that way. It's like
probably something more colorful, right?
Like, what's up? Or hey, dumbass, what's going on? Like it's a lot more familiar, and I feel like when writers do that, they're either trying to show that the relationship is very strained, which can work in isolated incidents, or more likely, they just don't trust the audience to like intuit that there's something familiar about this pairing. You know, it's a couple pages before we use like a term like brother or sister in the first issue, but like I don't think you could read into that relationship even without that and think, oh, they're dating, or oh, they're just good roommates. It's like there's something more familiar there, and there's something more casual there than those relationships would imply.
Oh, I got you. So how does that creative process look like, when creating this and scripting it out? Because you said you co-created this with your partner.
Yeah, Dalton and I work really closely together, but we also like respect each other's kind of creative process and try to give each other as much space as possible. Generally how it goes is, depending on the project, one of us like starts the first draft. With Mechaton, I start every first draft, work through it, get to the end, and then when I send it over to him, and he'll read through it, and generally he'll just scratch and write a completely new first influenced by what I wrote, but not necessarily the same. And then we kind of pass it back and forth until we decide that, okay, this is what we both like. This is the best version of this. And then we stick with that script and just kind of tweak it until, like, do dialogue tweaks and stick with that until we're happy. It generally doesn't take very long. Usually on like the third pass, we're in pretty close agreement on what the story is and how we should, and like what should happen in the particular script. But yeah, no, it's 1 part co-writing, 2 parts editing, partner, and it's really nice to have someone just kind of like looking over your shoulder, no, not necessarily looking over your shoulder, but just like catching your mistakes and being there to say, hey, this is great, but it would be better if, and you know, someone that you trust enough that you can go, yeah, no, I see that. Well,
because you get so like, maybe tunnel vision, like when you're working on it, like you see it how you're looking at it, so getting that fresh perspective on it, like you know, they could spot the mistakes and stuff that you just keep looking at and you're overseeing.
100%. Yeah, I got in a big Twitter argument recently about writers generally needing editors, and I don't necessarily mean you have to like hire a professional editor for every little thing that you do, but you need someone there that like is, you know, a fresh set of eyes, because you can operate looking at something this close for so long before you kind of lose the forest for the trees and are really unable to effectively tell what works about it, what doesn't work about it. You need someone coming behind you and going, hey, I think that this is what you're trying to say with this.
Yeah.
And it could be something totally different than what you expected. Yeah, in the very first draft of Megaton, when it was 5 issues long, I came, like, Dalton wrote it, and then I came along and I went, okay, I see what you're trying to do. I think it's way too fast, but like, I'm getting this sense that, you know, this is a story about community and about working with, you know, against overwhelming odds with extremely limited resources. And he was like, sure, yeah. That's what
Hey, sounds good enough. Let's keep it. Let's run with it. We have J. Michael Miller over on YouTube stopping in to say this sounds awesome. Yeah, I love it. I stole some of the cover or some of the images from your Kickstarter, the interior images, to put on an image slideshow next to us. And I love the art in it and everything. We'll do a little bit more of a deep dive on the creative team, but do you want to go ahead and shout out the rest of the creative team involved on this?
Yeah, so it's me and Dalton writing. Fernando Pinto is the line artist behind it. He's the one who has that very like distinctive style that really only ever seen in Mechaton and like Rise of the Kung Fu Master stuff that Fernando has done. He has a very like particular style. Meg Casey is the main colorist. She works in a very like Scott Pilgrim-esque flat coloring kind of way, and I love the hell out of it. And then Nathan Kemp is our letterer. He's a French letterer that has just some really cool ideas and like brought a really modern style to the lettering that I think are absolutely fantastic.
No, I loved everything that I've seen. It definitely is a gorgeous book. So when you guys, let's say you get that script finalized, and everything, how does that look like working with the artist? You know, for issue 1, what was that process like for you, getting these characters designed and getting this brought to life?
It was a bit of an adjustment period, just because, you know, I think especially when you just write the full thing and send it off, you have an idea of what it looks like in your own head. So it's a little bit weird getting used to like, oh, this is what it looks like now. But the more we did it, and the more we went into it, the more excited we got. I tend to be really exacting in my scripts. Like, I put a lot of detail into the panels. I am pretty particular about like how many panels are on the page, what goes on every page. And Fernando was a champ about it for sure. But I'm always open to like if he has an idea, big or small, for like change. You know, I think it would work. It would flow better like this. I'm always down for it. But typically it's pretty smooth. It's just I send the script and I get back pretty incredible or pretty close to what I asked for. Yeah, he's really good at kind of creating dynamic panel layouts, even within like, you know, there's a couple pages that have like 5 or 6 panels in a row, which I try to avoid, but sometimes it's unavoidable.
Mm-hmm.
And every page looks different. It's not like a grid every single time. He like one of the, like, this could have been a 6-panel grid really easily. Sorry, I'll get that. That could have been a grid really easily, but he just breaks it up in such a way that
yeah, the diagonal paneling. I love that. Yeah,
it's a lot more accessible and sort of flows a lot better as a result. And yeah, and he's not afraid to like make big moments big. Like I love this shot of the glove. Smashing into the ground. It's, you know, full page splash with a little bit of breaking up from the panels above. But yeah, yeah, we the longer we've gone with it, the more like in sync that we've gotten, to the point that I maybe have one note when I get pages from him back now. I'm like, oh, this actually, you know, like, oh, there's like we had an issue where we made a robot out of a house and there was like too much of the house left, and it broke my heart a little bit because he was using like bits of the house to create the frame that looked. I was like, this breaks the fiction. This breaks like the universe. We can't have it. And he was a really good sport about it. He was like, oh, okay, we can change it.
It sounds like you guys have really developed that like artist to writer relationship that just makes it like flow so organically.
Yeah, there's a lot of trust there, and I think we both just respect each other's style quite a bit. And having worked with a bunch of artists, some for small projects, some for really big projects, I can say I just like no matter who I work with, for one reason or another, it always comes back to, God, I love working with Fernando. Professional, so nice to work with, and like punctual and just great. And he gives you exactly what you want every time. Like,
man, if there's anything that I'm a stickler about is being punctual. Like with like when you go to order something, like when you commission something, I've never worked with an artist, so I don't know how that works. But I know like when I go to order something or commission something, like when they're like, okay, I'll have this in like 2 weeks, and then it gets to you in like a week and a half, you're like, oh, dude, this is awesome. Like more of this, please. Like,
yeah, exactly. And I mean, yeah, no shade, absolutely no shade to anyone else that I've worked with, but occasionally stuff does come up, or just you have a little bit more friction, like, this isn't really what I was looking at. We kind of have to work around this or redo. And I really never have that issue with Fernando.
And like working on like your dream, you like this, like it has to make you almost giddy, like getting those messages that like, hey, here's the next page. Like it almost has to be like Christmas every page.
Anytime we get pages, I am so excited for them.
Hey, well, let's use this opportunity. Let's actually take a chance to bring up the Kickstarter for issue 3 and go through it and see what we're campaigning for.
Let's go deep dive.
So let's dive right into it. We're looking at Mechaton issue 1, 2, 3. A sci-fi action comic with mechs and kaiju. A slacker, an artist, and a witch discover an alien glove that turns anything it punches into a pilotable mech. Shenanigans ensue. Currently looking at $3,268 of a $5,000 goal with 131 backers and 14 days left to go. Congratulations, Wells. It looks like you're killing it so far. I mean, this looks like some awesome numbers. And you have 2 weeks to go. So how are you feeling, man? This looks like it's an awesome campaign right off the rip.
Well, yeah, no, it's a little bit it feels really good to obviously have those, you know, those strong numbers behind you. Logically, you're sitting there going, yeah, no, we're about 60, we're a little over 65% funded. There's 2 weeks left. There's no reason we shouldn't be able to make it. Every metric in the world is behind us right now. And at the same time, anytime you're running a Kickstarter, anytime you have a ticking clock, you're just, please.
Stressed.
Oh, the stress. Yeah. And it has, like, lately, you know, gas prices have been up, grocery costs have been up, and I've talked with other creators, and we're all sort of feeling that. Like, there's definitely a hesitance among people to back as freely as they have in the past, which is totally understandable. I get that. But yeah, no, I'm just hoping that this project is as you know, popular and gets as much as the one before it as Mechaton #2, because I really think that the people who read and liked that comic will really love this one, and I obviously want to get as many as possible. But
so how are you, like, what are you doing to, like, combat you know, the stress during this? Like, you're like right in the middle of it, so like, what are you doing to not lose your sanity?
I'll get back to you when I figure it out. Now, I'm going walks. I'm trying to limit my time on Twitter as much as possible, because it's easy to kind of over obsess and dive in, and then start to see other projects that are doing really well, and you go, what are they doing that I'm not doing? And you get in your own head about it really quickly. Yeah, no, I'm trying to promote it as much as possible while not, like, staying in that space, trying to break away, trying to do things that I enjoy. Oddly enough, work has been pretty nice for me, getting to, like, go somewhere else other than my house and where I can't look at my phone. And
okay, yeah.
That's actually pretty nice this time around, not having to worry about it. But
it's almost like work is your vacation away from it.
It brings its own kind of set of stressors, but at least they're different. There are other things I have to worry about.
So yeah, let's go ahead. Let's unwind some of that stress and check out this video that you have right here.
Yeah, please.
Has this ever happened to you? You're trying to read a comic, but it's so boring.
A comic in the
pay
freezer.
attention.
I think the sound isn't.
Oh no, we can hear it on my end.
Mechaton,
okay.
issue 3.
Sorry.
20-page sci-fi action comic all the cool kids are reading.
Awesome!
Mechaton is the only comic that has power gloves falling from the sky, mutated kaiju destroying cities, everyday objects turning into mechs.
Is this you doing the narration?
Non-binary main character.
You have a good narrating
more
voice,
heart
dude.
than the first 10 minutes of a children's movie.
He was gonna take her to South America.
But that's not all.
What?
You'll also get the choice of a limited edition variant cover drawn by renowned artist Jay Sheik.
That is pretty cool.
Derek's in a bind, and only this Spider-Man 219 homage cover can save him now.
But what if I don't have the first 2 issues?
You can get every issue of Megaton with our Super Deluxe Catch-Up tier!
Oh, wow. Man, Fernando Pinto's art is amazing!
Not to mention Meg Casey's gorgeous coloring and Nathan Kemp's fantastic letters!
Who wrote this thing anyway?
Wells Thompson and Dalton Shannon.
But I'm Dalton.
But wait! There's more! Order in the first 72 hours and we'll give you 20% off your order! That's right,
that's a good
20% off! Not to mention special tiers for metal prints, foil covers, commission slots, and the opportunity to adopt your very own page of Megaton #3! Order now!
I remember you talking about that, and that was such a cool concept.
For sure. No, I want to keep bringing it up in future campaigns. But I feel like people are just tight on cash right now. We actually, oh god, and then say hello to Peach.
Hey, we all remember those nights you wake up, something crazy in the fridge, like, what did I do last night? So yeah, let's talk about that. The adopt a page. That is such a cool concept. So what exactly is adopting a page?
So we wanted to, obviously there's been a lot of like talk about digital ownership over the last couple of year or so for reasons we're not going to get into right now, because I do not want to start anything. But we were really intrigued by that, and like you know, physical pages have long been something that people have been able to offer, but art digitally. Fernando does all of his art digitally, which is the way a lot of artists operate. So we were wondering how we could give someone that sense of ownership over something that is made digitally, and we kind of came up with, okay, what if we had this like adopt a page program where you pay for the cost of the art of a single page, and then you get your name in the book, like very prominently, like page 20 is adopted by this person.
Oh, that's cool.
And you get the original idea was like a stretch canvas print, but that to be kind of infeasible. So an 11 by 17 custom, like one of a kind prints of the page in its entirety that you can like have and display as, so that you can like claim it definitely as yours.
That's cool though. That is really cool. So yeah, no, I really like that concept. That doesn't seem like it's something that's been around. Like, is that something that you guys like created, like came together and created, or you know, what inspired you guys for that?
I remember being on a space with Ian Mondrick, the guy behind Tomb of the White Horse, Tomb of the Black Horse. Really, really cool guy, really great writer. And we were just talking about like potential Kickstarter rewards and like things that people go for. And we were talking about like specifically about like your like super, you know, premium tiers that are like, you maybe don't even expect people to buy them necessarily, but if you know, if one person does, then great, that's a huge boost in your toward your goal. And we were also talking a little bit about like what I was saying before, getting like whole pages like of original art, and we were like, okay, what if we did that with, like, if we could do that with ours, that would be really cool, but it's digital, and it just sort of evolved from there. Yeah, no, it's not something that I've seen on a lot of other pages, or on a lot of other comics. So I'm hoping it, if it doesn't catch on, at the very least, people really like that we're doing it.
You know, I think it's one of those things that it's brilliant, because if no one buys it, no big deal. It didn't cost you a single penny to make that tier. But if someone does, then you know, it paid off. Like, we have Lee Newman over on YouTube agreeing too, stopping in to say that's absolutely brilliant. Yeah, I think that is a genius idea, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're interested, the cost of a page is $200.
That's not too bad either. I mean, you see a lot of like get yourself drawn into a comic or anything like going for just as much, if not more.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was sort of like, we didn't want to put that kind of stress on Fernando of like, oh, you have to leave faces blank until we know who they. So we figured this would be a good compromise, so we could do it all on the back end.
Oh, that is awesome. And then this is a brand new logo as well, right? If I remember reading something that you had a new logo for issue 3.
So this is, the old logo is here, and this one worked for us, but we felt like...
Hold on one second. Let me get you zoomed in real quick.
Yeah. So this is the old logo. It works. I don't mind it so much, but we thought we could do better, and so we hired a professional graphic designer, Brenda Snelby, who has been... We actually hired her originally to do the Frankenstein logo and to help us on that book, and we were just like, we just loved her working with her and doing like that book so much that we were like, hey, would you want to, you know, redesign this logo? And what she come up with was like spectacular.
This looks gorgeous.
Yeah. And it really brings the kind of energy that we wanted to bring to the comic.
And also, it matches the glove. I feel like the design of the glove, it kind of like the logo like incorporates that.
Yeah. That was sort of the intention behind it. And I really like the original idea behind the logo was that it was very slapped together. Because we're making mechs that are very like, you know, slapped together with kind of parts. But I think the kind of the sleekness and showing off the design of the glove a little bit more, I think that works even better. Yeah.
So what is Megaton? Megaton is a story about fighting for your community against selfishness and authoritism. Man, I cannot pronounce words this morning. Thank you. Getting by with clever thinking and teamwork, and trying to outpun your little sister and her strange, witchy significant other. Also, trash robots punching giant monsters. So the first issue is 28 pages, and all subsequent issues are 20. Yep. Man, this is such a gorgeous cover too. So this is the creature you said they were facing at the end of issue 2?
Thoraxis, yeah, who is sort of the middle portion of our initial trio of kaiju monsters. So yeah, this is the last we see of him. But yeah, no, Thoraxis is a giant mutated dung beetle that was in the landfill when the glove crash landed, and Hex makes a perfume that has a bug pheromone in it. Mm-hmm. Axis smells it and goes to wreck up the house because, well, I don't want to get.
No, that's good. That's good. I love it though. I love this idea. This cover is just so much action going on, and I love the design of the mech too. So is this the house mech then, or?
Yeah, this is what the house is going to turn into. Is this Mechatan Mark III, which every mech comes with a power level and a name, and I think this power level is like a lifetime of home cooked meals.
That's so awesome. It kind of reminds me a little bit like a Ben 10, like, you know what I mean, in the way like how his different like creatures and stuff have different abilities and stuff. Like it's really cool.
Yeah, no. It's that I think kind of subconsciously we did have a lot of influences that we haven't really talked about. Ben 10 is definitely one of them. Megas XLR definitely combined. Like there's a lot of stuff that we borrowed from and lovingly paid homage to in these comics. That's
so awesome. And we've already went over a little bit of what it's about, but if you guys are interested, right here is the link again to check it out a little bit more in depth. So let's check out some of these interior pages. These are a few pages from issue 2 to kind of give you an idea what it looks like on the inside. So yeah, I love how this glove is just stuck, like you said, to his arm the entire time.
Yeah, no, he that's definitely part of his character design now. And we, not to give too much away or anything, but we just finished the end of, or we just finished the first draft of issue 5. Mm-hmm. And which is the end of the first arc, and Derek gets himself in a spot and someone is trying to remove the glove, and the answer they come up with is, let's just take the whole arm off.
I love this too. So it's like, is it chicken or it's vegetarian? Am I being punished? Like the humor in it, and then a tappy instead of Atari. Yeah. Like I love the little nod right there.
Yeah, no, we're working with Scout on Megaton. And I remember I got a note on the script for this one that was like, do we have to make this joke? Like, this seems like, does he have to be this close-minded about vegetarian food? And I was like, I'm vegetarian, so this is made entirely out of love, I promise you.
That's so awesome. We have Lee Newman followed and retweeted on Twitter, hoping to back the catch-up tier before you guys wrap up. I think they are going strong until August 31st?
August, the end of the month. Yeah, you have
end of the month.
End of August to get in on Mechaton.
So that's funny. You threw this humor in just because this is what you're used to. See, my significant other, she's also vegetarian, so I'm on the other end of it. Like, I'm always like razzing her up about stuff. It's funny. I think it's funny to see it in there. But yeah. Scout didn't find it so humorous.
Well, I mean, I think they were just concerned about it because they weren't 100% about the context, and I don't know. Their own sense of humor, but I was like, trust me, it's gonna be fine.
So were the other issues on Scout as well?
So issue 1 is currently being adapted by Scout. They're going to be publishing issue 1, and then they're going to be publishing the full trade.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, so they're going to be publishing issues 1 through 5 together, and then down the road, when we get full trades, we'll be doing that. But the only way to get single issues of Mechaton is here on Kickstarter.
That's so, congratulations. That is so cool. Is that like your first time like hitting like getting on a publishing label like that?
It's our yes and no. So our first book that we did was Descent into Dread, which is a horror anthology. It was published by Caliber Comics.
Okay.
It's a very, very, very small publisher, but technically was in Diamond and technically might have made it into some comic book shops. Scout is obviously a lot bigger, and it's definitely 100%. It's our first time getting like a series into like published.
That's so cool though, man. Congratulations. How did that feel?
Really incredible. Really, really nice. When someone, you know, that not just like enjoys comics, but is running a you know, comic company is impressed with your work and says, yeah, we can work with this. We want this as a part of our catalog. Yeah, feels really, really good. That's
so awesome. We have a DJ over on YouTube stopping in to say sup and got here a little late. Just in time for us to go over this Kickstarter though, so not too late at all.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm loving this art. This art is so gorgeous, and like you said, the unique style. Like I really haven't seen anything, because you could like this in a long time. Like the emotion in the characters' faces is just phenomenal.
Yeah, there's definitely some manga influence there in terms of like the expression and the emotion that he's able to kind of put through, and the sort of the mild abstraction of the faces and the action.
I'm trying to remember. Did you ever watch? It was an old school cartoon, Daria. Is it Daria? Yeah. She reminds me a little bit of Daria.
Oh, the Hex, yeah.
Yeah. I love that. That's showing my age there too.
Oh well, no, Daria was great, and Hex kind of does have a little bit of that same affect of just somewhat cynical, but has a soft spot and will definitely mess with people to get a little bit of control, but is also a lot more like mature than Daria was, and older, and is in a very like caring, stable relationship. So yeah, I love the character. I absolutely. And then yeah, no, then their house gets broken into by a big bug.
I love this too. She's like, man, right here is like, just use the glove, punch it. So what would happen if he would punch this thing? Like,
that is a question that will be answered. I'm not going to
spoil it. No, perfect. I love when that happens, because that you know, in my head this whole entire time I'm like, what happens if he punches like a human? Like, do they become a mech?
We had the same question, and we decided to incorporate it into the plot because we knew that would be really like an interesting angle to go. So yeah, no, that is a question that will be answered.
No, that is awesome. We have DJ over on YouTube. We'll ask that question at the end, because that is a good question, DJ. But the other statement was the art style is amazing with some hearts. Yeah, I really love this art style a whole lot.
Fernando's great. Meg is great. I really owe the book to them more than anyone else.
So what do I get for backing it? Are all these tiers going to be the same that are on the right side, like the scrolling tiers?
Yeah. Okay, we just want to visualize what the tiers are and what you're getting through that.
So we're looking at a digital copy of Mechaton issue 3 for $5. That is a great price for the digital PDF.
So just, yeah, if you already have the first two, or if for whatever reason you want to jump in here, $5 gets you the PDF. The digital is actually discounted, because we aside from the one that we're doing right now, which is $5, the other two are $3 each. So we actually took off $1 for the digital catch-up tier.
That's awesome.
Get all of them. It's actually discounted to do so. Yeah, and then physical copy, obviously shipping, it comes extra depending on where you are in the world, but we try and keep it as low as possible for getting same thing, Megaton number 3 or all of them for $20.
Mm-hmm.
And anytime you get if you get a physical copy, you're also getting the digital copy. So every backer will get a digital copy.
That's really cool too. I really like that.
Yeah, especially if there are any printing delays or anything like that. Like if something unforeseen happens, we definitely want people to have some like be able to go and read the thing that they paid for while they're waiting, at the very least.
And then we have variant covers as well. So I really like this variant cover right here, the Spider-Man homage.
Yeah, Spider-Man 219, the iconic cover where he's behind bars and the Spider-Man is behind him, shouting into the void. We just wanted to do something a little silly with it, and we got Jay Chic to make this variant cover. And he just nailed the assignment. I love how much personality the house has. And the fact that it is just a house with robot arms makes me so happy.
And then like the two windows right here are like eyes. I love it.
Like I said, it has so much personality. It looks so good.
And then we have a signed limited edition, so get a signed copy for $25. Is this the only way for people to get signed copies of your books?
Yeah, I mean, unless that or running into us in person at like a convention would be the only two ways to get it signed. So yeah, if you want if you get the signed limited edition and you want the rest of them, they are available in the add-ons as well.
Okay.
Not like that's not closed off to or anything like that.
No, that is cool. And then the signed variant for $5 more, $30. That's a great price. Gorgeous cover. I love how I love how you guys are incorporating like the design within the letters as like the background for the images right here too, like the light blue, that I really like how you guys incorporated that.
For sure.
It makes everything like branded, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Brent Fowler did the graphic for this. We've been working with him for a little while. He did a really great job. And then the covers, like I said, the dressings are all Brenda Snelby, so she's the one kind of bringing that flavor to it.
I really like this metal print too. This is gorgeous.
Yeah, we've had this print since the first issue, or since the first issue. We got an artist that we worked with before, Serge Acuna, who's just a great guy, to sort of make this very like we said earlier, Mechaton is shonen inspired, so we wanted to go like that to the nth degree, like you know, Dragon Ball looking kind of fight scene.
And this is the hot dog stand, right?
That's the hot dog stand robot and Dihedapod, the cockroach kaiju. And that's just kind of their standoff. So we've sold it in print form before, and we found a company that makes metal prints for very reasonably priced. We actually met them at St. Louis Fan Expo. So we wanted to incorporate that into like as a middle tier into all of this.
Is this how the hot dog stand mech looked in the comic too?
Not exactly. So the hot dog stand robot, we really like encourage artists whenever we're working on these things to kind of make the mechs their own, because that is sort of the unique.
Oh, that looks cool too, though.
That is sort of the unique flavor of the comic, is like you can you're taking everyday objects and turning them into robots, and so every artist's interpretation of that is going to be a little bit different. So yeah, Serge went a slightly different way with it. But I think it looks I was
gonna say, I love the hat. I love the fact that he's wearing like a little hot dog hat.
And they all have such personality. That's what I love about it. Every version, every artist we worked with has brought such a cool personality to the mechs.
And then we get this gorgeous foil cover for $75. I am a sucker for foil covers.
Actually, give me half a second.
Also includes the metal print as well.
So this is the foil cover for issue number 2.
Oh yeah, that's gorgeous.
Yeah, and it works on the back as well. And we have a couple of these left over where we'll figure out how to get rid of those. And you can see the colors like just explode on the page. I love the way they look. Because we knew that like when you get the foil cover, we also give you a regular cover because we can't sign these. The Sharpie doesn't really want to stay on. So we went pretty low gloss for the actual book, like the standard book. We went really high gloss for this one, which some people like and some people don't. But either way, it's a different experience, and it makes the colors like I said, just explode off the page.
We have a DJ over on YouTube saying "so beautiful" with some crying emojis. Yes, that is gorgeous. We got some holy crap emotions. Yeah, I love how it was extra gloss too to make the colors pop more.
Yeah, like I said, like you're paying for, you know, a different experience with the iridescent cover, so we wanted to give you both. We wanted to make it worth your while, and if you pick it up and read through it, you know, it's the same book, but it's going to be kind of a different experience in that way.
And you're also throwing in the metal print and a signed comic, so you're getting a $50 print. You're getting a $25 signed comic. I mean, you're getting a huge bang for your buck for that.
Yeah. So generally speaking, any tier that you get is going to have all the previous tiers before it. It's not going to, like, not everything is going to catch you up, for example. So you have to add on number 1 and number 2 if you want them. But for the standard stuff, for the Mechaton number 3 stuff specifically, it all comes with that. And the advanced tiers that are coming up include the iridescent cover and everything that comes with it as well.
And then we have the everything tier for $175. Get everything we offer except for commissions and adopting a page in one convenient package. So that's pretty much everything listed above, and it looks like there's some other things included as well.
It includes all of the add-ons as well. So that's the annotated, like the scripts that have our notes in them, the stickers, the trading cards.
I love these trading cards. These look awesome.
Yeah, they're really cool. And we're actually designing some more for potential stretch goals as well. And as well as the other comics that we have available, By Visibility, Descend to Dread, Frankenstein #1. So that gets you everything, and it is at it because it is all bundled together. It's a slight discount. I think it normally comes to about $200 to $210 if you like price everything out individually. So,
no, that is awesome. Then we have the commission for $250. So
yep,
get a oh, go ahead.
We have 2 of those left. We have 3 slots total. We have 2 left now. But if you want a piece of like very unique art from Fernando, if you're falling in love with his style, like I have, then you can get this tier, get a commission slot. He will make you a character or 9x12 black and white character sketch of whoever you want, and he's done some really cool stuff. I wish I had the Spider-Man one that he did for our last campaign on there, because it's so cool and dynamic. But
I really like this Doctor Strange.
Yeah, Doctor Strange one.
Yeah, this is gorgeous.
And that comes with everything that the iridescent foil cover tier comes with. So the cover, the signed copy, digital copy, and the metal print.
That's awesome. Yeah, dude, you got some really awesome tiers. I like not only the design, but just everything that you did within it. It seems like you've really like done your homework with these tiers for Kickstarter.
Yeah, for sure. No, I wanted to I wanted to, you know, give people the best deal possible, and you know, cater to what people want and give them, you know, as much as I can of it. And then this adopt a page, it says $500 on here, which was the original price, but we decided to kind of make the what you get a little bit less extravagant, like I said, where it's so out of reach of regular people to pick it up. But yeah, 20 slots available because there's 20 pages to adopt. To only $200, not $500. You still get everything in the iridescent foil tier, and you get to adopt a page of the book and get a 11 by 17 thing print of the page.
That's so cool. I really like that concept a lot. I really think you're doing something there.
Yeah, no.
So right here's a larger look at the variant cover.
Yeah, we wanted to show kind of our influences on that, and shout out Jay Sheik, who did a great job on it. So
I love the little couch dangling off.
There's the wind chimes. It's so much. It's so good. And then below that is the inspiration. Yeah, the what we're paying homage to.
That's so cool. And then let's take a little quick look at the add-ons too.
For sure. Yeah, we went over these a little bit in the everything tier, but we have trading cards, we have stickers, which we're looking to get more stickers and more trading cards in the future, because we have more mechs and we have more creatures.
Well, that's so cool. How long are you? How many issues do you have planned out? Is it 5, or are you planning more?
We have 5 for the first arc, and then we have 2 to 3 arcs planned.
Okay.
And with, you know, keeping it somewhat open, like maybe we could go further, but I feel like the story that we had in mind ends after probably 3 arcs.
And then let's do a little bit of look at the creative team. So we already broke down you and Dalton, but what about the rest of the creative team? Here is a little bit of the artist.
Yep. So Nando, Chilean art professor in a punk band. He's just an absolutely insanely cool guy. Has a whole sleeve of comic tattoos. But yeah, he's worked on image books. He's worked on Webtoon, Mirage, Boom, 215 Inc. He actually has another Scout book as well, and some Webtoon books that he's drawn, or that he like works on independently, including that's very just like slice of life what he does every day. He updates like 3 or 4 days a week, I think.
That's cool.
Yeah, it is in Spanish, so you have to get used to that, but it's a lot of fun. Megan Casey, who didn't have a profile pic available, but I love this picture anyway, is a colorist. She is from Georgia, works on the animated show Hitmonkey, Marvel's Hitmonkey, and has colored a bunch of stuff, most notably Invader Zim.
That's wild. That's awesome. I love Invader Zim.
Yeah, the Invader Zim comic is really cool. And yeah, it looks gorgeous. And then Nathan Kemp is our letterer. He does a bunch of localization work. He's done lettering for a long time. He has a self-published graphic novel as well called Positive Negative. But yeah, he's done some work for DC, Marvel, Image. If there is a small publisher, he's done some work for them. He used to be a part of And Design, and World Design. There we go. And now he's just doing his own thing independently.
That is so awesome. I love you. Got such an awesome team behind this. I mean, the comic is gorgeous, and the team you have behind it speaks volume about like the work you guys are putting into it.
Yeah, for sure.
So here's a quick look at the budget as well. I love when the campaigns have this to show you just exactly where all the money is going.
Yeah, for sure. We want it to be as kind of open and transparent as possible, and the fact of the matter is, like, most of it goes into the art, and there is some some extra stuff in there, processing fees, taxes that we have to keep back a certain amount for. But mostly it's art, printing, shipping. That's the vast majority of the pie.
Yeah, estimated timeline, it looks like ending in late August. Art should be completed late November. With digital rewards coming out in December, and then physical rewards in January. Yeah,
and we're sort of doing the opposite of what we did in the past, which is we're making those dates kind of later than we think they will be. But just in case anything happens, we want to make sure that people have a good sense of like, okay, it might not be done until then.
I always think it's better to overshoot. You know what I mean? Like, personally, like, overshoot it, and then if it comes earlier, it comes earlier.
I'm pretty confident that we can get it like into people's hands before the end of the year. But I just want to make sure that like people know that there's a chance it could wind up being early next year. And then a little bit about that, like, we care about shipping. We want to make sure it gets to you safely and on time and stuff. So we work with one thing I don't say is we work with stamps.com to sort of handle all of the shipping ourselves and then get it to the post office.
International shipping, there's nothing you could do about that. That sucks that they charge so much.
Yeah, they charge a lot. So anyone who pays for international shipping, we're gonna upgrade your tier. We're gonna give you some free stuff to compensate for it, because we know that is like absurd. You're paying, like, in many cases you're paying more for the shipping than you are for the actual like thing that you're getting. So we want to make sure it's worth your while. And then we bag and board comics and use Gemini mailers to make sure that they're protected and make sure they're in good shape when they get to you.
You know, I'm a big fan of that. Having done this for 6-7 months, I've backed a handful of campaigns, and it hits differently when you see that Gemini mailer sticking out of your mailbox. Because like when it's just the typical like bag, it's like, oh man, there's like a good 50% chance this is gonna be all bent up and dinged up.
And you're like, please don't let it be bent.
Especially like if it's chilling out in the rain, it's like, oh.
And that is like, yeah, it is more expensive to do it that way. We could save money by doing it with, you know, like stiff mailers or something like that. But we chose to do the slightly more expensive way to make sure that it gets to you safely. So yeah, we wanted to put that on display, make sure that is a thing that you realize.
I love all the freaking Easter eggs in this print right here, like the Naruto, Garfield, Cloud, Goku. I like this is awesome. Like, you know, this is something I didn't like readily notice like looking at it, but like now that it's like big, like I love how many Easter eggs you guys threw in this.
Beck Kubrick did this print for us. It's a gorgeous print. It has a whole bunch of different Easter eggs and stuff in there, and we wanted to just capture the spirit of like what the core group of our heroes is going to look like, and the attitude we wanted to present. And obviously, like, it's a different universe because the glove isn't there, and Dihedapod is just a tiny little kid. But this is like, this was just like a slice of life anime, and we were kind of hanging out with them.
I love that so much. And then risk and challenges. Basically, you guys can't predict global pandemics or printing problems.
Right, but yeah, and we haven't fully completed any pages. We've inked 6 pages, and obviously we have the what do you call it? The covers available, but we have only gotten smoother at this. We've only gotten better at getting these out in a timely manner and being able to mitigate road bumps. So we feel pretty confident we're going to be able to hit our goals.
Okay. So what was the delay with issue 2? I see that you mentioned that here.
Issue 2, the 2 things happened. Meg Casey got a really, really big, important animation gig that was like big and important for her career. So she had to put the book on hold for about a month and a half, which full power to her, great. I'm glad that she made that move. But it was that, and then the other thing about it was we were working with Scout to kind of edit and make #1 at the same time that we were making #2. So everything was just kind of gummed up and working simultaneously. But at this point, we've gotten like everything that we're doing, like we make it, we approve it, we go to Scout, they approve it, and then we put it out. And then we move on to the next thing. So we're very much in lockstep with them, and we're not going to have that issue again. That was a very,
you know, and it seems like it was one of those like 1 in a billion time chances, and you can't exactly tell someone not to like do something that's going to be pivotal for their career. Like that had to have been such a hard place, like a rock and a hard place for you.
For sure. Oh, well, I mean, like if someone says, hey, I have I have a career defining opportunity, I'm still going to work on your comic, but I have to, put pause for a little while. You don't go, you don't tell them no, decline.
No. Yeah. You want them to keep working with you, right?
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm happy for her. I'm proud of her, and I'm glad she was able to do that and is continuing to get really good work. Yeah, no, I feel like you can't be upset when people are like, when artists are getting work.
That's their job, right?
They're too busy to do a thing, that sucks. But if they're willing to work with you around it, I'm only capable of paying her so much money. And if this is like an actual career type move that she's making, great. I'm so glad she's doing it, and I'm so glad she gets to continue to work on the book as well. Yeah,
that is so awesome. So now that we've taken a deep look at the campaign, what would you like to say to anyone that is watching that might be on the fence about backing it, if you could help push them over that bump?
This comic kicks your teeth in. You should I have very few reservations saying it's the most fun you'll have with a book on Kickstarter. It's got the most unique art style on Kickstarter. The one thing we don't have is like not safe for work covers. So if that's your big hang up, I'm sorry. This just isn't the book. It's intended to be, not strictly speaking, like, you know, kids or anything, but all ages, in the sense that like anyone could read it. And short of, I don't know, putting a big kaiju in a bikini, which might be hilarious. Like,
I mean, they're technically naked, right? I mean,
they are technically naked. It is a bit, but yeah, no. I do genuinely think that we have the best comic on Kickstarter, and I don't think there's tons of friends that I have that are currently running books on Kickstarter, and I think you should go support them. But I think that this is like where your money will be spent best.
Support me more.
One brief thing I do want to mention, we have, and I haven't been able to update my the page with it, but we do have an official crossover with the Twin Blades.
Okay.
And so if you buy a physical tier from us and you buy a physical tier from the Twin Blades, and you let us know that you've done that, we will put you in a raffle and you can win $50 worth of free comics signed by the two of us.
That is awesome. I love that. And I love seeing him kill it too. It's cool because that was like my very first my very first review on Comic Book Yeti, and seeing him like just like kill it right now is just awesome. I love that you two are working together.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, Jared is one of the realest creators out there, and I love his comic, and I want to celebrate that. But yeah, no, I think that Mechaton is badass, and anyone is going to love reading it, and it's only a matter of time before it blows up in a big way, and you want to be there when it does, saying I was there before. I was the original.
I love it. I love it. That is awesome. So before we wrap things up completely, what's next for you? You working on Mechaton until the first volume done, or do you have any other projects that you're starting to work on?
We're working with Mary and Mary Landro and Dolly Maha and Heather Vaughn on Frankenstein the Unconquered. That'll be our last Kickstarter probably this year. Is Frankenstein the Unconquered #2.
Ooh.
Yeah, no, so that will be coming. We're finishing up development on #1, so that is coming soon. We have an idea for a third series that we want to do. We don't know if this is the time to unveil it right now, but we do have another project that we're working on. And regardless of whether or not we wind up doing that at the end of the year, at the beginning of next year, we're going to try and do Mechaton #4 and 5 at the same time, get the full volume out to you guys.
I love that.
Yeah, no, and try and just crush the first arc, get it done, get it available.
No, that is so cool. Well, as you've been on the show before, this is your second time on, so you kind of know how the drill goes. And DJ had an awesome question over on YouTube, so I figured I would save this question for last.
Sure.
For any beginning comic creators out there that might be struggling or that are just getting started, what type of advice would you have for them to kind of help them get going on their journey?
Keep working, make bad stuff until you start to make good stuff. Like, don't get in your own head about like, oh, I'm not good enough, or you don't have to be good enough. You just have to keep working. And other than that, be professional, be kind, and pay your artists well and on time, and you will make it far in this industry if you do all of that.
I love it. I love it. That is awesome. Well, this has been such an awesome conversation. I always love getting you back on. How's everything going for you with other endeavors? You're still a reviewer, correct? For Comic Book Yeti?
Yes, I did step down as the review editor because I had too much going on, particularly in making comics, but I'm still reviewing comics. I still have my Kickstarter monthly column that I do at Comic Book Yeti, which I'm really passionate about and happy about.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love it.
I give back to the community as much as I can, and that was kind of my way into the community, was through Comic Book Yeti, so I don't want to leave that behind, and I want to continue to review things, and I want to continue to shout out great comic book campaigns.
No, absolutely. So where can everyone find you? Social media platforms.
Easiest place is definitely going to be Twitter, at WellsThomp, THOMP. That is where I'm most active. That's where I have the most followers. That's where I spend most of my time. I have a website that mostly just redirects to other things, wellsthompson.com. If you want to buy me a cup of coffee, ko-fi.com/WellsThompson. I would be happy to receive it. I will take support anywhere I can get it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, those are the main three places, and then obviously Kickstarter. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, don't you have your monthly newsletter is really cool too, because you do cocktails, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. So I'm a server and a bartender, and I've been a server and a bartender for I've been working in restaurants for like 13 years, been a server for about 9, been bartending for a couple. So I have a wealth of like cocktail knowledge and experience making cocktails and making stuff. So I have in my newsletter on top of talking about comics, I also talk about like new cocktails that you can try out, sort of the history of them, and why you should give it a try. And I also talk about owning and fostering cats. So if you want to see some, that's on there as well. Comics, cats, and cocktails. You can find that. Generally, I have a link to that somewhere on Twitter. But you can also, if you back the Kickstarter, I ask if you want to sign up during the backer surveys, which is where I get the majority of my followers on the newsletters through Kickstarter backer surveys.
No, that is so cool. The 3 C's, the perfect C's to make your day better. Comics, cats, and cocktails, right?
Absolutely.
Well, everybody, it is New Comic Book Day. Once again, here is the link to this Kickstarter. Be sure to treat yourself to a new book and make sure it's Megaton issue number 3. And if you're unable to back it, word of mouth is 100% free. That being said, it is time for us to wrap up. Wells, thank you so much for coming by, making this an awesome Wednesday for us. It is a brand new day. We have a lot of content coming out later on tonight. So with that being said, it is time for me to hop off as well. I hope you guys have an awesome one, but most importantly, keep it geekly.
Keep it geekly.